Hi everybody. I wanted to just speak on what I just came upon being outside and just jumping on the trampoline, and that allowed me to get back into this inner state of being separate from my current reality and all of the problems that I have right now. And I'm sure you guys have a lot of challenges as well, because they never end. It just seems like there's always more. And actually, it just reminds me that we're always faced with something and that we have to formulate a specific solution to that problem, and it continuously is always going to be recurring. But yeah, I think it's so important to recognize that you are a little child inside of your body, with whatever age that you are today, that we all are. And it's important to see other people in that way as well, because it allows you to not feel so opposed or different, or making up all of these projections that separate you from another. To really come back to the oneness in that we are that. And if you can see that, I think you can navigate through so many different problems in your life with a lot more gentleness and compassion, and redirecting your energy back into harnessing this state of acceptance, because you recognize that you've been through this multiple times, just in different stages of life. You know, there's just different fluencies of it that look different, because you have more expectations on you. And I guess if you could make it into a problem, it's just like, you know how mathematics increase. So yeah, algebra, calculus continuously evolves. It starts with the basics, but then the more that you learn, it builds on top of each other. And so, you know, looking at your life now, I'm 21. So comparing it to me being 2, it's completely different. You have a different way of perceiving things. You have more knowledge based off of your place of positioning, I guess, if you were to say, from going through different experiences. And so now you have a greater level of knowing, of being, and applying that knowledge to where you're at now. And I can say that our souls are constantly grounded, and I think it's like you want to grow and evolve, but also you want to maintain this state of pureness and upholding this innocence within yourself. It's like you want to keep that cleansed. It's like the vessel within your body. This is why it's important to allow Christ in, because he's always going to be that purification for you, and to remind you of going and coming back into your boundless abundance that is righteous within him. And so I just think, as you are moving through time, that you can get into a state of separation, and you can distance yourself from what was, I guess, because you're in a different space and time right now. But really, it's just like, it's all the same, and it's just you are different in a way of like how you're seeing things, you know? And that's why it's so fundamental to understand that your perspective really will outseed or it will deplete what is in front of you in your life. You know, it's going to be the make or break, and you're the constant in the situation. Okay, you can't always revert back to blaming other things externally, and this is something that I have to continuously, and it's something that we continuously have to get out of, because it's easy to look at things in your life and kind of subject yourself to that and feel like you are bouncing around, and this is where your life has come to at this point, I guess, within these specific circumstances and this problem that you're looking at. But really, it's like you have a choice in all of this, and if you can remember that, then you are bringing yourself back into a position of power. And it's important to choose, you know, in your life what you wish to dispose yourself of and what you are going to allow yourself to allocate through, in a way of like, okay, well, you can see things for what they are. You can see that where's your opposition and where are your weaknesses at, and then trying to focus on nurturing all of that like you would as a kid. You know, as we come into this world, we really don't know. We're supposed to be supported, we're supposed to be guided and be in the safety of our parents, which are considerably gods to us as kids. But as we, you know, move through time, we become more independent, and there's a lot of different expectations that are now predisposed onto us. And so just as that is, you know, just the way of life in this society, it's important to really allow yourself to just be in that state of just like not knowing and allowing yourself what you need. And it's not something to be ashamed or feeling wrong about. No, I think we all just need a backbone of support. I really do think that. And, you know, a lot of limiting beliefs and just old narratives can build when you are in an isolated state and you're not having like actually another perspective to kind of illuminate what you're really saturating yourself with. You can saturate yourself in so much self-doubt and ruminating and overthinking, and that is all that energy that you could be putting into making yourself get out of the brunt of the situation and building a ladder for yourself to rise up above this specific rock, and that's before you. But the rock could not even be a rock. It might just be a paper mache rock, and it might not be as firm as you might think it is unless you really tap into yourself and try and work with what you have right now and take it step by step, and not doubt your abilities, but also put that energy into investing in your potential and allowing yourself that space to thrive and see what happens, because it is so easy to just cut it loose and kind of already predict what your circumstance might look like if you're so fostering on the negative aspect of how you feel and feeling like overburdened by that in a way where you are actually manifesting that undesirable outcome. And this happens a lot because we fear what we don't want. We fear that outcome, but what are we focusing on? You know what I mean? So we want to change the dynamic in our mind and really just say, you know what, this is what it is for now, and there's no other way it could be, but what I can do is work with what I have. In this specific place, what can I do to move forward and deliberately choose how I want to see this and how I want to approach it. Like solving a problem, taking it step by step, trying to understand why you're doing what you're doing, and teaching yourself along the way about the lessons that you were learning. It's really about flipping the script, and everything that you come across in your reality, just looking at it as a way of a catalyst in your mind and making it work for you, and making it an opportunity for you to look at it as a best friend and not an enemy. You know what I mean? So like, it's good to allow yourself to actually look at things in that way, though, about how you feel, and just validate yourself. This sucks. That disappointed me. That person, they were rude, they were mean, I didn't like that. Or, you know, whatever you feel is absolutely valid. Absolutely valid. And for a long time, I had a hard time, and I still am working through this and allowing myself to actually feel how I feel and own that feeling, own how my own perspective on people are, even if they're in a negative connotation. That's how I feel, and yeah, it might not be true in an objective stance, but it's subjective, and that's okay. All of us have our own subjective ways, because we have, our souls are in different bodies and we're perceiving things differently, and so that's absolutely okay. And I think that it makes it so much harder for yourself when you are giving other people the benefit where they shouldn't have. Almost, it's like if you're feeling some type of way, like genuinely, it's going to make it hard for you to get through that experience and actually be in your power and in your authenticity, and actually moving forward rather than reverting because you're not standing in how you actually feel. And then you're going to always be doubting yourself and giving the other person much more of a, that you're giving your power away to them when they don't even need, they weren't asking for it, and they don't deserve it. And you know, this is how self-doubt has perpetuated into many people's lives, because you're just like handing it off. You're handing off your own judgment, your own reality of things. And yeah, it takes acknowledgement first and foremost, but when you can figure that out, then I think the rest will be a lot more manageable, because then you're actually allowing yourself to stand in your ground and know that that's absolutely what you are deserving of. And if you allocate that for other people all the time, why aren't you giving yourself that? You know, you're treating yourself as less than other people, and you are exactly the same. Our souls are the same. We have the same worth. And you know, one more thing I want to add is that if you ever feel like you're behind, or you find yourself comparing yourself to the next person in whatever situation they might be in their life, you know, just know that everyone has their own battles that they're facing, and you project a lot of things on other people when you aren't sure within yourself, when you aren't feeling that self-affirmation and just peace within oneself. You are always going to look for, oh, what does the other person have that I don't have? Or how can I feel more? Or how can I feel okay? But really, it's just giving yourself that. Giving yourself what you're seeking from other people. And knowing that you're okay just by being. And once you dip back into that, and you constantly reaffirm yourself in the now, in the situations. It's not just like just talking to dim those thoughts. No, it's just actually like, oh, I feel this way, but no, I'm gonna reaffirm myself in this situation, allow myself to feel how I feel, and move through it, and be in the present, be in the now. That's the only way you can work through things. So yeah, challenge and change is going to be consistent in life. It's just what way are you going about solving it? Everyone has their own equations, and everyone has their own different expressions of working through those equations based off of what their tools are, what they've been through, who they identify themselves to be as. But there is a multitude of different ways to go about it. So don't limit yourself, and don't allow yourself to be in a place of lack when there's abundance surrounding you at every opportunity, and knowing that you always have help with God. So if you just ask, you will receive. You just have to be vulnerable. You have to allow yourself to acknowledge how you might feel, and knowing that it's not wrong to feel how you feel, and letting it up to the Most High, and seeing how that will change how you will move through, because He's moving through you. He's going to operate in your vessel, and you're going to hear the Holy Spirit more in your life, more than your human thoughts, your human consciousness. Is going to hopefully overshadow that, and you'll be more in tune. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here because I felt inclined to, because I think we all have something that might be pulling us to be in our righteousness, you know, and we also have our sinful nature that is constantly trying to distract us, and almost it's just like a tug. So we always have to be on our guard and be alert, you know, because that's just the way that we need to be as Christians. We need to always be mindful that there is another path that is planned for us, as well as the goodness that God has. Wow, it's so dark. Guys, I never have done a video outside like this, but it was a calling. So yeah. Okay guys, thank you. Bye, until next time. Mwah.